Knowing where you can improve energy doesn't always tell you how you can go about it. Most likely you will need to evaluate the costs, benefits and payback period for a number of different options.
We still got technology which is about 10-15 years old. If we would change that manufacturing process and get new technology machines in, which will cost about 1.4 million, the payback for that machine will be 2.5 years, and we would save at least half of the energy costs. So power savings would be 3%, and it will basically replace 3 other machines.
Modelling can help you decide now with your future needs in mind.
Part of any analysis we do is we run the figures based on the best case scenario, and then we run them based upon what the worst case scenario would be. If everything goes against the plan, we have different demands placed on the system, how would that affect us under this new production process that we might be looking at? The main factor is if we make a change and the result is an increase in costs or a loss of efficiency. That's obviously the major risk, and we generally wouldn't do something unless there was some other improvement that we could make that was more important. But generally, in this sort of efficiency and sustainability area, cost is the major driver of either implementing or not implementing an idea.
Often there are risks and indirect costs to take into account.
LED lighting, which is the newest technology, very efficient but also quite expensive. Then there was a more efficient form of fluorescent lighting called T5 lighting. We ended up going with the T5 fluorescent lighting. Even though it's a little bit less efficient, even though it wouldn't save us quite as much energy, it was a more proven technology.
Our old dust extraction system, it was doing the job. It was removing most of the dust and wood waste, and it was using a minimal amount of power, but it was old, the maintenance costs were going up, and it was starting to work less effectively in removing the dust. So we looked at a number of options when replacing that, one of which was going for a bigger system, which ultimately uses more power and costs more, but the improvements in efficiency of dust removal meant that maintenance on the machines went down, the overall dust and clutter in the factory was reduced, which also helped reduce paint contamination. And then obviously the biggest thing is improved safety for the workers because there's less dust. The ancillary benefits outweighed the sort of fact that it would cost more in dollars for electricity.
The benefits are not always obvious, but your energy decisions can have an effect on the overall competitiveness and profitability of your business.
Our biggest challenge is moving stuff backwards and forwards. We have obviously chipboards, we've got laminates, we've got various items which used to be packed up in racks. We had 4 forklifts, we had 3 forklift drivers, full-time, running backwards and forwards and picking one sheet and then another sheet. We then investigated a machine which actually could handle that. Originally we used about 800 square meters of racking. Now we've got a fully automatic Parkstead, which actually automatically stores all our board. So instead of 800 square meters, we got 400 square meters or less. It's only 2 small motors running. This runs during the night, so with low rate energy. It basically saved us probably about $800 per month. Just on gas. When we had the forklift drivers going backwards and forwards and picking the stock out, they needed light because it was a very dark area, so we had the energy costs up for the lights. All the goods coming in goes in automatically into the machine. It will then pick out what is necessary, but it will pick out first the offcuts. Once it hasn't got enough offcuts, it will use a new sheet. So when the guys arrive the next morning, they're basically ready to be cut. It will be between 5 and 7 years, which is obviously a reasonably long payback, but it's not only the payback itself of the money, it's the payback for us to stay in the manufacturing, to keep the staffs employed. We can actually train the forklift drivers to do a better job within the factory and help us to be successful.
Ultimately, choosing the right energy improvements depends on understanding all the risks, costs and benefits and deciding how important they are for your business. Many of these skills are reflected in the energy efficiency skill sets in the MSS 11 Sustainability Training Package. For more information and additional resources, visit sustainabilityskills.net.au.